Getting what you want from life really isn't all that difficult when you make a point of asking yourself, well, what am I willing to do to get it? Now, I'm not saying you're going to do something illegal or shady or be mean or rude or whatever it might be. Like, I'm not saying that. Hi, I'm Jay, a certified personal and executive coach who believes that rediscovering ourselves takes just a little bit of courage. This show is focused on helping you develop the mindset and the courage to become curious about the thoughts holding you back in life and intentional about making changes that'll help you live your best life. And we're doing it one episode at a time. Well, hello, my curious friends, and welcome to episode 84. I want you to think about what you want most in life. Do you want to lose weight, quit your job, meet someone new, mend a relationship with your kids, maybe your parents, get out of debt, start your own business, get out of a toxic relationship, maybe travel around the world, feel comfortable meeting people, be better at making small talk? Okay. Are you thinking about what you want most in life? Now ask yourself, what am I willing to do to make this happen? What am I willing to feel to make this happen? How uncomfortable am I willing to get to make this happen? Getting what you want from life really isn't all that difficult when you make a point of asking yourself, well, what am I willing to do to get it? Now, I'm not saying you're going to do something illegal or shady or be mean or rude or whatever it might be. Like, I'm not saying that. But what are you willing to do to get it? The hardest part is actually being willing to try anything, to try everything in order to get what you want. Now, again, I'm not advocating that you be mean, horrible, or otherwise disgusting and demanding in your pursuit of what you want. That's not what I'm saying. You can still be an awesome person, be kind, be caring, and still get what you want from life. What I'm saying is that until you're willing to get really uncomfortable in your pursuit of what you want, you will have trouble attaining it no matter what you want. Now, I have recently been listening to The Success Principles, How to Get You From Where You Are to Where You Want to Be by Jack Canfield. And in it, he shares over 60 fundamentals of success. 60. Don't worry. I'm not going to do all 60 in today's show, but I will take you through my take on the first section, my favorites, the fundamentals of success. Because I think it's pretty important, right? These are actually really good things. And I want to chat a little bit with you about how you can leverage them in your life starting right now. You can start right today. All right. So I'm going to list them all out, all 10, and then we're going to go back and I'll dive into each one individually. Because I think it's important to kind of listen to them all out straight. So here they go. Number 1 is take responsibility for your life. Number 2 is decide what you want. Number 3 is believe it's possible. Number 4 is use the law of attraction. Number 5 is release the brakes. Number 6 is act as if. Number 7 is experience your fear and take action anyway. Number 8 is ask, ask, ask. Number 9 is reject rejection. And number 10 is commit to constant and never-ending improvement. All right, so let's go back to the beginning. Number 1, take 100% responsibility for your life. Now, what does this mean? We've chatted about this before on this show. Taking responsibility for your life means that you don't blame anybody else for the circumstances in your life, right? It's not somebody else's fault where you are right now. You may think it's somebody else's fault, okay? But you can't blame it on anybody else. And here's why, right? When you get down to the core of it, the way that our brain works is that we do have circumstances in our life. I get that, right? Circumstances are something that is an event or something that's happened that no one could argue that it's not true, right? It's a fact. You can go into court and say, okay, yep, everybody agrees this is 100% true. All right. 99% of the time, well, we'll call it 95% of the time, what we think is a circumstance is really our thought about something. And our thoughts then generate feelings we have about it. And then those feelings generate actions in our life, which give us the results. So when you don't take 100% responsibility for your life, you start blaming other people, you start blaming your circumstances, and it's really your thinking about your circumstances. and your feelings about your circumstances that then give you what you want. So you got to pivot out of that. You got to take 100% responsibility for everything that you have in your life right now. That's up to you. Okay. Number 2, decide what you want. So often when I'm talking to my clients, I ask them this question. I'm like, well, what do you really want? And a lot of the time they say, well, you know what? I don't know. And when you don't know what you want, if you haven't decided what you want, it's really hard to set goals to get there. Oftentimes I'll hear people say, oh yeah, I set goals all the time. I just can't achieve them. But when I dig a little bit deeper and I ask them, well, what do you want from life? What do you want? What do you really want? They're like, well, I don't know. It's really hard to set goals towards something you don't know what you want. So you got to get really clear. Decide what you want. What is it that you really want? Number 3, believe it's possible. Again, this goes back to our thoughts and our feelings, but if we don't have belief that something is actually possible, if you don't have belief that you can have a better relationship, that you can mend a fence with somebody that you love, that you can communicate better, that you can lose weight, that you can be a better saver, that you can be more in control of your finances, that you can get what you want from life. If you don't believe it's possible, it's really hard to attain it. It's so hard to attain something if you don't believe it's possible from the get-go. So once you decide what you want, you have to believe that it's possible. You have to set everything aside and say, I can actually envision myself having this. Like I can totally 100% believe that it's going to take place. So you have to believe it's possible. Number 4, use the law of attraction. And I know for some of you, this might seem like a little woohoo-ish, but stick with me for a moment. All right. The law of attraction means that you actually put it out into the universe. You have your thought process, you put it out there. And once you believe it's possible, you think about it all the time, right? The law of attraction is pretty simple. Think of it this way. Have you ever decided that you want something new? Maybe it's a new car, for instance, and you have a make and a model that's in your mind. And all of a sudden you see that make and model everywhere on the road, right? And what happens is that's your brain showing you what's possible, showing you what's there. So when you start to think about what you want, once you start to believe what you want and you use the law of attraction, your brain will figure out a way to get you to get it, right? Your brain's primary job, there's two jobs that your brain has. One is to keep you safe, which is why why change is really hard and difficult, right? Your brain wants to keep you safe. It's built into history 10,000 years ago. It was really about keeping you from getting eaten, right? Keeping you alive. And the other thing that your brain does is to solve problems, right? To answer questions for you. So that's really what the law of attraction is it allows you to say, if I believe this is true and I want to figure out how I go about getting it, you tell your brain what you want and it'll figure out a way to get it because it's its job. Number 5, release the brakes. And what release the brakes means is it goes back to number 4 a little bit, using the law of attraction and believing what you want. But release the brakes is just saying, I have no limitations, right? My circumstances in my life currently don't limit me. I can go after whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. Because when you start to believe that, right, when you release the brakes on everything that's going on in your world, you open up the world to possibilities. So number 5 was release the brakes. You got to just let go and move on. Number 6, act as if. This one's kind of cool. So one of the things that I do in my morning routine is I go through a whole practice of being grateful for what I do have. And then I start to go through a practice of being grateful for what I will have, but I say it as if I already have it. So for me, having an apartment in a city near a sports team, right? And also having a house at the beach where I can watch the sunrise, where I can spend some time with my family in a big city and sometimes at the beach. In my gratitude practice, I act as if I already have it. I act as if I already have it because if you act as if you already have it, if you can envision yourself in your mind's eye already having what you want, again, your brain will go after it and figure out how to get it for you. So you act as if you already have it. That's number 6. Number 7, experience your fear and take action anyway. One of the things I say is doubt has killed more dreams than failure, because if you doubt you can do something, if you doubt that you actually can get something, if you doubt that you can do it, you're not going to do it, right? That's fear. That's fear speaking for you. And when fear speaks for you, you don't take action. So you need to experience your fear. And what I mean by that is you actually have to feel it. Feel what it feels like in your body to be afraid to do something. Where does it live in your body? Where does that emotion, fear, live? And if you feel it and you move through it and you take action anyway, it's what keeps you moving forward. So if you experience your fear and take action anyway, it sets you up for success. So often we have to say, oh, I've got to be in the right frame of mind. I have to feel good. My mind's got to be good. My body has to feel good. I have to feel awake for me to take action on anything in my life. The truth is you got to take action all the time. All the time you have to be taking action, and you got to do it regardless of whether or not you're afraid to do it. Take a chance on yourself. You might surprise yourself. Number 8, ask. And that's ask with exclamation points attached to them, is ask for what you want. So often we're afraid to ask for what we want because we're afraid we're not going to get it. We're afraid to be rejected. But if you don't ask for what you want from anyone or anything in your life, you'll never have a chance of getting it. You don't know what's possible if you don't ask. So ask all the time for what you want. Advocate for yourself. I'm not saying to do it by in a way that makes you seem like, oh, I'm entitled to this. No, you're just curious. Just come at it from a place of curiosity. I'm curious about if this is possible. What might this look like? Okay. Number 9, rejection. Again, so often we don't take action in our life because we're afraid that we're going to get rejected. Well, who cares? If you don't ask for what you want, if you don't get it, so what? Go about it a different way. But you have to reject rejection. It's not really about you. It's about the other person, which I know is really hard to comprehend. But listen, when you ask for something and somebody says no, it's not about you. It's really never about you. It's about them. It's about their thoughts and feelings about what you've asked for. It's them feeling afraid. That's what it comes down to. It's just rejection. Say, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway, because even if I get rejected, I'm going to keep moving forward. And number 10, commit to constant and never-ending improvement. My friends, I think that's partly the reason that you listen to this show, right, to this podcast, is that you want to continue to improve in your life. You want to use these snippets, these weekly snippets of advice, my thinking, my sharing for you, because you are on a constant and never-ending path to improvement. So keep doing that. Do it in all areas of your life. Do it with what you want to improve. Do it with what you want to learn. Whatever it may be, just commit to it. Commit to a constant and never-ending cycle of improvement, because that's how we become better. And it's what makes everything else underneath here, the other 9 principles, easy. All right, maybe not easy, but doable, because you put it in a context of, if I keep improving, I can get better at these things. And it's a cycle, right? These 10 are a cycle. Yeah, you're going to get to a certain point, you're going to do it again for the next level and the next level and the next level. One of the things that I recently learned from my own coach is she talked about the example of a parking lot, like in an airport parking lot, right? Sometimes you may circle around and not find any spots, right? And then you go up to the next level. You may be doing the same thing, but it's on another level, right? So if you keep coming back to the same sort of things in your life, if you commit to constant and never-ending improvement and you work on these other success principles, you go to the next level. You go to the 3rd floor, 5th floor, 6th floor. I love the concept, because even though you're still circling, it's at a different level. It's at a higher level because you keep moving forward, right? You keep moving forward. You keep going upward, which I really love that metaphor, that concept. All right. Did you have a favorite success principle? Was it take 100% responsibility for your life? Was it decide what you want, believe it is possible, use the law of attraction, release the brakes, act as if, experience your fear and take action anyway, ask, reject rejection, or commit to constant and never-ending improvement? Was one of those your favorites? What about one goal you have in your life right now that you're doubting that you can achieve? If you have a favorite success principle, if you have something you're wondering if you can achieve it, go over to jasonramsden.com/episode 84 and drop in the comments what it is, and I'll personally respond to your comment. I'll provide the support that you need. Let me be your accountability partner. Let me help you on your journey toward getting everything you want from life and more. That's what I'm here for. If you're tuning in, if you're a fan of the show, hop on over there and drop a comment. All right, my friend. That's a wrap on this week's episode. And always remember, be willing, be curious, and be intentional. And until next week, keep doing the work. You've got this. Hey friends, who's your mindset coach? If you don't have one, it would be my honor to work with you. If you're ready, visit jasonramsden.com and click Get Started in the upper right-hand corner of the screen to schedule your free call today. I hope to talk to you soon. Until then, have an amazing day. Intentionally Curious is a production of Impact One Media LLC. All rights reserved.